Hello there and welcome to today's tutorial in which I'll be showing you how to make Fozzie Bear and Kermit the Frog based on their characters in the Christmas classic film A Muppet Christmas Carol. So let's go get started. So to make the backs of the Christmas tree ornaments, I've got some really lovely bronze clay here and I'm using a cookie cutter in a flower shape, and once that's cut out I'm just going to neaten around the edges. For some reason this clay is a little tricky to work with, and once it's done I'm going to cut out the centre with a smaller cookie cutter and replace the centre with a red piece of polymer clay. And I'm really going to try and pull those pieces together just with my acrylic roller here. And of course I'll need to make a couple of holes so that I can hang my ornaments once they're done. So I'm going to start with Kermit, and I've got a piece of bright green polymer clay here in a nice kind of round shape, and with my blaze cutting tool I need to carefully cut out a mouth shape like so, and just coax that out with my tool here. And I'm just going to go in again so that the piece is nice and neat really. So you might need to do this just a few times. I think this was my second attempt. So there we go, that looks like a mouth, doesn't it? And I'll use my ball tool just to go in at the corners like so. So I need to make him a nice red mouth, so with my cookie cutter tool here and with the assistance of my blaze cutting tool I need to work out a shape like so. I'll just smoothen the edges with my wet wipe here. And the middle section is actually pink, so I'm going to add a little piece of pink clay like so. And before I add that in I'm going to add some red clay just to the top of his mouth like so. Just press that in, and now I can add the bottom piece. And again with my wet wipe I'll just firmly press that down once I'm happy with it. So of course Kermit needs some eyes, so I've got two balls of white clay here, and I'm just going to take the edge off and place those on like so. And a couple of lines of black clay, they're teeny tiny, and a couple of pupils, and he really looks like Kermit now, doesn't he? It's amazing how few components some characters have, and you know, they're just iconic, aren't they? So I'm giving Kermit a hat as well, because it's obviously based on his character in the film, so just need to work out a brim for his hat like so. And I'll just place that on nice and carefully, and I'll just add a tiny line of red clay like so, just a little bit fiddly, but you know, I'll get there with my ball tool. So as you'll know by now, I really like my Christmas tree ornaments fully loaded, if you like, so I'm going to make some holly like so. Just speed that up and place those on. And I'm going to add some mistletoe as well, so again with my little tool here I'll just create a couple of little shapes and place those on. And I'll add a stem and some teeny tiny berries. And not forgetting the holly berries actually, in a nice glittery red. So I'm going to give him some candy canes as well, so I've got some red, green and white clay. nice and festive, so I'll just twist that and roll, and I'll keep twisting and rolling like so, and I'll just cut that to size and bend over. So now I can add those on. And I think to finish off he needs some snow, so I'll add some teeny tiny balls of white clay. And there we go, Kermit is all done. So moving on to Fozzie Bear, or Fozziwig. I've got some of the bronze clay again because it's basically in exactly the right colour that I need, so I'll just create a load of texture on my clay like so. And I'm just going to cut in with my blaze cutting tool again. And just take off the segments like so. And I'll just keep taking some clay off actually until I've arrived at a shape that I'm happy with. And of course he also needs a red mouth, so I'll just add some red clay. Just pat that in, and I'll add on a little pink tongue as well. So I'll just join those pieces together. And I'm going to add on like a lip basically, like so. And again, I'll just add loads of texture on there. So moving on to Fozzie's nose, I've got some nice pink clay here. And once it's in the right position, I'm just going to use it as a guide actually to create a couple of eye sockets just above the nose, like so. I'll just remove the nose and make those a little deeper. And I can add in some white eyeballs. And I'll just flatten those down with a wet wipe just to ensure that they're nice and clean really. So I'll add on some pupils. And Fozzie needs some eyelids, again in the pink clay, so I've got some like semicircles basically, so I'll add those on. And I can add his nose on properly now. He looks really like Fozzie now, doesn't he? So I'll just create some ears. And once I've worked out what size they need to be, I can add in some texture and add them all to the Christmas tree ornaments, like so. And I'll use my needle tool just to blend those pieces together. So Fozziwig needs a wig, so I've got some white clay here and I'll just sort of fashion a shape like this really. And add that on. And I'm just going to curve some clay like so. And just pop one on either side. And then finish off with two smaller pieces at the top. And I'll add some eyebrows as well. And similarly to Kermit's ornament, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I've got some candy canes and some holly and some mistletoe. And of course it needs some white snow as well. And now my Christmas tree ornaments are all done and ready to bake. And at this point you'll need to refer to your own brands of polymer clay's baking instructions. So Kermit and Fozzie are out of the oven and all nice and cool, so I'm just going to add some sculpey glaze just to a few elements, basically just the candy canes and the berries. And I'll add through some string, and there we are, they're all done. So thanks for watching, give it a like if you got this far, and I'll see you again soon.